Today I want to talk about the two different ways to make money with crypto. And without further ado, I am the most open-minded investor / NFT artist on YouTube with a diverse appetite for risky asset classes ranging between shopping centers and shitcoins, but not government bonds, creating contact-led, family-friendly, cookie-accepting, cat-free, technical and specialized tutorials and guidelines to harness the generational wealth transfer found in crypto trends. And I'm also a believer of Jesus Christ and a fan of Gary and an extremely well-educated and multilingual Korean, but with hair naturally curly than the average Asian male and highly coveted by many moms and daughters, also known as Humble Kim. Two ways to make money on crypto. All right, so that's two more ways to make money with crypto than I know how. There are two ways to make money on crypto. And if you actually understand this model, a lot of the noise that's happening in the market right now could actually make a bit more sense to you. At the end of the day, we are here to create wealth with cryptocurrency. So how does it all work? It is really important that you watch this video right now because I am going to be dropping you some absolute bombs. Well, actually, that's a
very poor choice of words.
Absolute value bombs today. All right, guys. So there are two ways to make money, okay, with cryptocurrency. One is to catch the bull market and one is to catch the bounces when it's coming down. A lot of your newbies will be making money this way, number one. But now, a lot of the pros will be making money on the bounces, right? Because you know something, right? This is the Bitcoin chart on a logarithmic scale. What that means, well, we'll talk about it later. But in the bull market, right, it's really, really, really funny. All the newbies that come to the market, right, they all come to the market when the market does this, right? When it moves. All positive news, positive news, positive news, positive news. This is when they get in right here, bang. They also get in like right there. It's unfortunate, but they always get in like there. That's what the new people do. Maybe if they're a little bit earlier, they can get in a little bit earlier and then just catch this gain. And then that's what they will do. Very seldom will a new person, right, will get in the market when the prices are low like this. Very seldom. Very, very seldom. Because that's when there's a lot of fear and like there's negative press. New people don't jump into a market when that happens. So the only way new people can actually make money is just if the market turns on it well. So those are the gains that you want to make money on as a new person. But right now, we're in a bear market. I hate using that word, but like in the short term of it all, we're in a bear market. We're in a correctional phase from what it used to be or where it can go to. And those are the times when this method, the second method, which I've labeled bounces, which I don't think is the right name for it, but anyway, is how bounces can help. Because on a downtrend, right? And I'm gonna focus more on that today because gone are the days where we could profit from bull markets. So the only guys that are gonna be making money right now, right? Look, I'll just give you another easy example. You know, during Thanksgiving last year, everyone was talking about cryptocurrency that it was gonna go to 100K. And a lot of you actually entered in there. A lot of you, ant investors, should I call them that, I guess. Those little people, the shrimps in the market have actually gotten in then when the whales were exiting, right? This is what this chart is. What this chart here represents also is greed and fear as well. The higher the graph goes, the greedier the market is. And the lower the graph goes, the more fearful the market is, right? So when you want to buy is ideally when there is fear. Okay, before I talk about that though, I'm going to come back to how you make money using method number one. But method number two is the bounce strategy. When the market falls, the market never falls like this, right? It never falls like this. It falls down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. And on the downtrend, really, the only ways to make money are these places here. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. You can say, oh, you can short trade and whatever. But if you're that good at trading, what are you even doing watching my channel? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should teach me something. I don't mind that if you're doing that. If you want to get into short trades, in a bear market, like be my guest, you do you, bro. And maybe this isn't the best thing to do. You're trading against the trend as well. So yeah, that's why this is the harder way to make money. But in saying that, these bounces do occur quite often, and these bounces are totally enough for you to make money. How do we then track these movements? Well, there are many ways to track these movements, and that's where technical analysis is so very important. So what we're looking at, I cover Floki Inu on my channel a fair bit. Now, without digging into that too much, right? If we just look at the way Bitcoin, for example, works, right? There are plenty of opportunities to actually get in, right? And dollar cost average is really, really important in this situation as well. We're looking at this region here, okay? Not the best region I know, but the RSI dips below 30. And the RSI dips below 30 again once over here. And every time these things occur, you're going to buy in, and keeping your average low, there is a profit to be made. That little profit that goes up there, boom. It dips again to this level over here, right? That's that level there. And what happens? Boom, goes up in price there again. It dips again to this level here, and then boom, it goes up to that price. You probably wouldn't have caught it there. You probably caught up from here, right? The next bit here, next time it dips into that zone, boom, it goes up in price just a little bit there, okay? Another time here, actually this level here, actually you would have gotten up here. But there's a little bit of gain right there as well. You see these zones here that lines up with this low RSI levels, and then boom, there's a pretty massive gain there as well. And likewise from this zone here, all right, maybe not the best zone to get into, but if you dollar cost average into the second zone where it dipped a bit lower as well, there's definitely profit to be made when the average cost of acquisition could sit somewhere in between that, and therefore there's definitely gains to be made. There are opportunities where you can stay in the green. Now, this is by far the worst example that I could have given because Bitcoin is just a little bit finicky like that. The beauty about cryptocurrency is that there's more assets that we can trade in. So I'm going to do that same exercise, right? But I'm going to use a cryptocurrency like PYR, okay? It's a pretty low, market cap coin, and the volatility is much, much higher. So watching this pan out since November 2021, there were a lot more opportunities for you to actually get in. And how do you actually get into these levels, right? You can also foresee a bit of the buy orders as well, seeing that there is a bit of that indecision in the previous times. This is why it's so important to actually go backwards on your charts as well. There were plenty of opportunities to make these big gains. Floki, I've given this example many times in my previous videos as well. There's another opportunity there with the RSI dipping below 30. Bam, there's your money there. And what you're going to do, you're going to break up your investments into little tiny pieces, right? And this is a really, really good sign. I mean, that RSI is hit here and once again here as well. But as you can see, the price action has remained flat reasonably. That's called a divergence, right? So these things, it'll be helpful for you to learn. That's a double gain because you've entered in a similar position twice, right? You have another dip here. Now that wouldn't be the best position to get in, but that's okay because there's enough volatility to actually make that gain. Not to mention you had more opportunities to dollar cost average in at these points. And again, once again, these points as well, that will take you up to that gain right there like so. We have another dip like here like so, and maybe another point of purchase right here as well. See how the price is falling, but the bottoms of the RSI is remaining the same, if not increasing a little bit. There is gains to be made here as well on a short-term basis. I'm just going to measure out these gains. That's 71%. That's 69%. This one here is potentially 51%. This one here is a double gain, so that's 45% twice. This one here later on was honored at 29%. And now here, the double gains at 105%. And arguably with the two positions being here, I don't know where it will go to, but there are some gains there as well. You could have made these multiple gains even on a downtrend, and these could have been well identified. And even if you put a hard stop at like 10 or 15% gain on a coin that has this much volatility, there is money to be made, right? And just keep an eye on where these bottoms do occur in these sort of dips, right? They occur based around some market indecisions, some support and resistance levels, right? That was a no-brainer, right? Because that was some resistance levels there. That's a horrible drawing right there. Like again, there's another support and resistance level here that was honored with this one. And this is interesting to see as well because it swims within that, and it looks like this could be the bottom with this level here. I'm just going to draw a straight line here, boom, with this level here matching that level there as well. Okay, so these kind of technical analysis, I mean, I did it very quickly, but as you can see, there are plenty of opportunities because the price hasn't gone from here directly down like so. As you can see, it has fluctuated, and there are ways that you can capitalize on these fluctuations. Every time it goes up, you can make money on these assets. So that being the case, this is another way to make money. It is very imperative, very important that you actually do your research on how technical analysis works. It is time for you to grow. Long gone are the days where you look at a coin and it's going to go to the moon and boom, there you are and off you go. And if one of these coins then do go up a lot, then a lot of these positions that you bought in, if you didn't take profits, or maybe the last time you do this thing, this gain will be the one that carries you forward, and you just have to stay in the market when the bull market happens. If you can make money on a downtrend, guys, you will definitely be able to make money on an uptrend, right? Taking profits is never a bad thing at all, okay? So on this uptrend, you would have made so much money. And in that trend, you will learn to know when the price is correct, and that will be a different learning experience altogether. Now, let's go back to the strategy number one. So then if we were to then go for those big moon bags where we're going to go to the absolute moon with everything, right? When are the right times to actually get in? Because if you hear about it on the news, right, it's too late, guys. It's too late. You are one of the ants, you're one of the shrimps, and you're getting it just way too late. What you're seeing right here, all the blue boxes that I've drawn in there, is the correction on the Bitcoin market. The graph looks a little bit different because I'm on the logarithmic scale, where each increment represents a multiple of 10, not the same increment as you go up. In this scenario here, we're seeing that back in 2013, we saw 75% correction over how many days? 108 days. We've also seen an 86% correction back in 2014. We also see an 83% correction in 2017 and another, almost 70% correction back in 2019. So that means every time there is a correction, we may go as low as those 80%, 70% corrections. Now, let me give you an example. If $100, right, go to $10, that's a 90% dip, right? That's a 90% dip. But if that $10 then goes back up to $100, right, that's not a 90% gain. That's a 10x gain. So it is really, really important when you actually get into the market. That is the case. That is really, really important. Now, if you wait another 5% to drop, that $5 to $100 back to its near high is going to be 20x. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency assumes that it will grow over time and blockchain technology will grow over time. And Bitcoin is going to be the indicator that shows how much bullishness or bearishness there is around blockchain technology and market adoption in the world. So then what we ought to focus on is that it will correct. Now, I'll show you another asset class that had done this before, and that's Apple. As you can see, Apple, since the 80s, has shown corrections 70%, 80%, 70%, 58%, 39%, 28%, and 31%. What do you notice about these drops, right? As we go along, it is reducing its drops. Now, all these brackets that I've drawn in there. Now, right now, Apple has a market cap of $3 trillion. It would have taken from here to this to, build up the first $1 trillion, this to be the second trillion, that last little bit to build up to that $3 trillion, right? That's what would have happened. In the first $1 trillion, you can see the corrections happening from 70% to 80% to 58%. We are in our first $1 trillion for Bitcoin. That means we are going to see these corrections happen. And why does this thing happen? These things happen because we do not understand the technology. We do not understand what it means for the world. But mass adoption is coming. In this scenario here, we have to anticipate these 80 to 70% corrections. That means right now, all of you guys aping into Bitcoin or even onto these altcoins, let me talk about altcoins as well. When you're buying altcoins, you think that one of them will go to the moon, but you got to realize Apple was one of the tech stocks that started in the 80s, right? How many tech stocks have lasted the dot-com bubble, which happened, a big dip? So that dot-com bubble would have been around the 2000s. Here we go. So that gave rise to that, 80% dip right there was that dot-com bubble in the 2000s, right? How many tech companies that have survived that? Well, there's only about 2 or 3, right? Okay, no, actually just 2. Amazon and Apple are the only tech companies that have survived. So we mentioned a lot of these altcoins, but you got to understand, you got to actually think to yourself, are these coins going to last the duration? So it may be that only Bitcoin and Ethereum survives. Who knows? We don't know. But whatever the case is, if we want to catch these bottoms, then we need to make sure that enough correction is in place for you to then place these bets on altcoins that are going to move higher than Bitcoin does. Bitcoin itself is an indicator, is a mere indicator. If you're investing money into cryptocurrency and you're only investing like thousands of dollars in there, like you're not investing big money, well, my suggestion to you is that, don't invest in Bitcoin because the gains in there aren't going to be enough, right? You want to go into a coin that's going to like 100x, right? $1,000 goes in, you get $100,000 back, right? You put $1,000 into freaking Cardano, it goes up 20%, you made $200, you got $1,200. Guess what? You're still freaking poor. We're doing this to create generational wealth. And the reason why we invest such little money might not just be because we are poor. It may also be because we don't want to invest too much money into what's called a volatile asset. And that is the right thing to do. But you need to assess risk-reward ratio. So when all the dips are happening at 86%, we can also see that the same thing's happening right now. So then Bitcoin looks pretty strong right now, but what would it mean for all your altcoin holdings that you hold right now for Bitcoin to correct 80% from the nearest high that we're in right now? Because if Bitcoin corrects down to 80%, the price of Bitcoin is going to be sitting at $13,000. You heard that right. Do we think that Bitcoin is really going to go to that level? Well, we thought that Bitcoin, when it was $19,000, it was going to go to up to $100,000. That's why a lot of the shrimps entered in at that absolute peak price. But what did it do? It dropped down to $3,000. Who would have thought? But these things do happen. It takes over a course of a year, and the bull run takes a long time to recover as well. The bull run has taken from 2018 to 2022. It takes almost 4 years. So if you're investing into things right now, what does that mean? You're investing from the top. And right now, the price action is only about 48% away from there. Now, you may be aggressive enough to actually get in there right now. I have been sharing with you many times that I'm getting in at 50, 55%, 60, 70%, 75%, 80% retracements from the nearest top. And I'll just be dollar cost averaging into it because I don't know how far the dip will be. But if Apple's any indication, it does still look like we are going to be hitting, 80% corrections, 70% corrections anyway. So that being the case, if you want to really catch on these big moves and you want to just spot trade and you want to hodl, right? People say, oh, I'll just get in now and just hodl for whatever. You guys don't have the mental capacity to put up with an account that shows red figures for the next 4 years. Trust me, you just don't have that. The people who got into these regions here back in 2017, they had to wait a whopping 3 years before they see any green in their account. You think they had the patience to do that? Very select few did. Very select few did. And a lot of the moves that we saw, even Safe and all those non-utility coins like your Shiba and everything else, right? Dogecoin, they happen around these bull runs as well. But for that to be waited for from when you're investing, right? It's just going to be too long. So even right now, I don't think is the right time for you to invest in if you're going to do the spot trading. So if you want to learn how to do these sort of catching the bounces, right? So that you lock in these benefits. I did the math on one of the coins that I looked at the other day, and the gains that you could have potentially made with $1,000 back in November to now is 5.5x. So you could have turned $1,000 into 5.5K within 2 months. That is something that you could have done if you follow this strategy. And if you're disciplined to follow these strategies, and if you're buying in the dips and you know when to take profits, then those will be the opportunities where you'll be able to build some proper wealth when everybody else is losing money in the market. So it is about outsmarting the whales. It is about outsmarting the common folk. And in this channel, you're going to learn how to do that. So make sure you drop a follow, guys. And I'm going to be running a mastermind on that, on an exclusive community. So if you're interested, drop a comment below. I will be then releasing a link soon in this video so that you can then come up with an application process. Now, I'm not going to be accepting everybody along to this platform. I'm only going to be accepting a select few because I believe in creating a group, right? Where I can then talk to them about what I think is the right way to go and also exchange ideas. People who are committed to what they're doing. I am also going to set up a barrier, a financial barrier to actually enter this group, because I don't want just anybody willy-nilly joining this group either. So I hope that you can become a part of this community, one that builds each other up, one that gives each other the discipline. Not only that, be able to speak into the technicality of their trading methods and mechanisms and the know-hows, not only shared by myself, but the ones that you guys contribute into the crowd as well. All right. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to leave a link down below where you can fill out your information, right? So that you can then head towards an application form. It will be addressed and I will have a one-on-one chat with you to actually approve you into the group, seeing where you are in your stage of life, in your stage of career, maybe your cash flow position, and seeing if that would be appropriate for the group so that we can actually create a dream team where we are investing the right way, where it delivers results. None of this hodl for 4 years, let's just put up with watching our account go to red for the next 5 years bullshit, but something that actually generates positive and yields positive results. That takes a lot of balls for me to say, because who am I to say that I've conquered this market, right? I'm learning this myself as well. But there are strategies in place so that you can lock in profits even when the market is down. Let's unlock that together. And you can see that the methods here is a model that is actually working, that is actually delivering results. All the links and all the beautiful stuff is going to be available down below. I will be attending an event hosted by Bybit. I'm a big fan of that trading platform, and that's going to be held in Melbourne. So if you'd like to come see me there, I welcome you to do so. My topic is going to be similar to what I've just talked about. Hopefully it'll be more refined by then as well. And I'd love to be of at least entertainment out there for you guys to enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so, make sure you go follow all of my social. Make sure you go like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can stay updated on the hottest and the funnest and the most interesting tips and know-hows in cryptocurrency. Go make sure you mint one of my NFTs as well. Peace.